All right, so here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Free Throws. I'm Coach Kenya, and I'm here with Wayno, and we're here every single week, just taking your questions and giving online mentorship. Right, Wayno?
Absolutely. How you feeling today, Kenya? Everything good?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm taking a little staycation next week. I'm taking a few days off work, so I'm looking forward to that. And just relaxing and spending time with my family and rejuvenating, because there's been a lot going on, but we have to take care of ourselves and take some time. So I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we got a nice group of people today for Free Throws. We're excited that you guys are here with us today. I'm going to get started up in the right-hand corner with, is it K Days?
Yes, it's K Days.
How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good,
What's
good.
going on, brother?
Good, good. So pretty much my free throw question was, before that, my Instagram handle is at K_days with 2 E's. And pretty much my question was, as upcoming artists, how do we legitimize opportunities that come our way? Because, especially in this type of time, we might get thrown opportunities when we're having even, small amounts of success. How do we know, or how do we legitimize, especially if we don't have, management or a big network? How do we kind of avoid from, getting finesse?
Well, I would say it's kind of tough, but I feel like, especially nowadays, finesses is almost like a foul in the game of basketball. Like you don't want it to happen, but it can happen. I think, the whole concept of being a artist is being in the business, and business is all calculated risk. So I think you just got to do some fact checking. Of course, like there's tons of people that are always gonna come around and say, "Yo, give me a couple dollars for this. I could do that," or you know what I mean. If we could work together, we could do this. I think for the most part, if a person is coming and trying to be a part of your situation, just see what they can show, improve, and do. Excuse me. I always tell artists from a management standpoint, if I can't do anything for you that you can't already do for yourself, then there's really no point in me working with you. Now if I can, then I'm pulling my weight and I'm showing my leverage. I think a lot of times, the eagerness of being an artist and I wouldn't say complacency, but like what sets in is the uneasiness of patience. It's like patience is not an easy thing. And you thinking about, all right, how can I make this work? How can I make this work? How can I make this work? And I think that, just having a little bit of patience and perseverance will get you to where you need to go. But, right now we're in the information age. So if there's a person that reaches out to you, like there's people that's reached out to people saying, yo, I'm Wayno, you know what I mean? Like send me $150 and I'll mention your song on Everyday Struggle, or I'll get you on a playlist. Like, it's not really hard to figure out. I wouldn't say necessarily my email, but it's not really hard to like figure out if it's me or not. You know what I'm saying? Like if people are getting emails saying that, like if people are getting emails from a person saying that me and you didn't see it communicated on none of my socials, then come on. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you just got to watch for the red flags for the most part, and common sense will lead you in the right direction.
Okay. Appreciate that.
No problem.
And you're welcome to stick around for the rest of the conversation. One of the things that we've been encouraging people to do is we're building a network and we're building a community. So you stick around, you never know who you're going to connect to in here, and use each other as resources. So you're welcome to stick around. All right. So I'm just going to ask you, put yourself back on mute, and we're going to go to the next person. And I'm going to totally mess your name up. Is it Sari Jules? Sari Jules?
Sir Jules.
Yes, sir. Sir Jules. Yeah, I say sir because I'm a leader and I'm not a follower, so that's where the sir is, and Jules is because that's the gem in me. So
hey man, sometimes the best way to become a leader is you got to follow good and bad people, man. The generals was all soldiers at one point in time.
I hear that one. I hear that.
We're all good, man. It's good to have you here.
Speaking about resources and certain generals and certain people, I've been a musician for years. I've been performing since the age of 8, and I actually, 2012, I landed being a finalist on the X Factor. where
Wow.
with Simon Cowell, I was a finalist there with a group Lyric 145, being the only rap group in a place where I later learned that it was TV. So that transition of being a real person and being on reality TV kind of swayed me away from the industry where I necessarily didn't want to be an artist because I had to learn like how to play the game, and I became more of a songwriter. So my question is, as a songwriter and as a musician, how do I use these resources around me, like these people that I know? I've actually been on the show with Normani and Lauren, Simon, but I have these people that I'm in contact with, and I don't necessarily know how to contact them without seeming like asking for a favor or such. So like, how do you use these resources as an artist, like for people like you get a lot of people in the DM hitting you up. I'm pretty sure there's a certain way that people should approach you. Or
Well, I don't think that, hitting, if you have a genuine relationship with these people and you know that they're in a position that could potentially help you, I don't think that looking for a favor is wrong at all. I just think that communicating that is the place that you might be a little bit confused on.
yes.
I mean, like to first of all, to have done something like that, your part, whether you succeeded as an artist from that directly, you're part of a success story. You're if they had an alumni, you'd be in there. Your name is etched in that stone. So you got to use that to your advantage. I mean, if you're able to still talk to a Normani, etc., and you're songwriting now,
Yeah,
correct?
I'm a songwriter. I actually songwrite. I had one placement like for people like Jay White, and these people I have like in contact with, but I don't.
Jay White, the producer, right? That did Bodak Yellow. That's
Yeah,
my
yeah,
guy. Yeah,
yeah. Jay White and Bells, if you know them, more hits on the
yeah.
way. That's the.
Okay. Yeah, I know Jay White. I don't know Bells, but I think the thing about it, bro, is like you gotta the problem is that sometimes we put this like imaginary boundary on ourselves where we don't want to like it's this word, and social media plays into that. Oh, I ain't looking for no handouts. Yo, it's
Yeah,
not about it's not about looking for a handout, man. It's like honestly, um, if you're trying to accomplish something and you have like a transparency with a person where all you really trying to do is better yourself. If
yeah,
nobody can respect that, fuck them. And then you'll find other ways around that. But like if you was on that contest, etc., on that platform, and you have these relationships with these people and you reach out, and maybe it may not be for them to do something with you, but you might ask them, hey, I'm songwriting now, may not be you, but do you have anybody that you could potentially connect me with that's songwriting as well, where we could get in the lab, make some things happen and build something? Because with that being said, a lot of people that they might not like you coming to them seeming like a favor, but if there's something that incentivizes it for them, then that might entice them to want to work with you. So it might be something like, yo, Simon, haven't spoken to you in a bit, but while I have your attention, I've been songwriting. I got some amazing stuff. If you know any up and coming artists, or if you're consulting for anybody, because that's the thing. If he's consulting, that means that he's getting paid to do a service. So if he might be consulting for somebody that has a whole budget and you're sitting on all this heat and all you need is somebody to bridge the gap. And, like I said, man, if you get denied during that, then there's other ways you can go around that. And that's another question for the next free throws. But I think for where you at right now, like utilize those relationships, man, because that's your currency. If you have the product and you need to get it going, you need to you can't just sit on it, man. You got to let people know. Like if you sitting on all, you'll be the guy 60 years old one day, like, damn, man,
wow.
I could have did this. And just give yourself a shot, man. And I know sometimes our confidence and our ego gets in the way, but listen, if it's for the betterment of you, your family, whomever, go for it.
Man,
Yeah.
that was amazing, man. I really appreciate that. That is exactly what a lot of people have been telling me. Even someone I know brought me here. He's like, yo, tell your story. And I'm like, I'm a quiet guy. I don't really,
Yo, listen, man. I mean, a lot of us are quiet. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of other people in the chat that might sentimize with that. But I'll tell you this, man. Like that term closed mouths don't get fed is a real thing.
That's facts.
You really want to give yourself a fighting chance. Like you really want to give yourself a shot because you just don't know. You know what I mean? And not knowing is enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like you could say, man, I don't know. And then they say, yo, you was my favorite person out the group. I was wondering what you was doing. You know what I'm saying? So just give yourself a shot, brother. For real. Give yourself a shot.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
And I'll just say, you know, super quick, just to Wayno's point, like you can't be afraid to ask for help. I remember, you know, working in radio and just being really intimidated by a lot of people who were already on a much bigger platform and being scared to death to go in and ask for help. But like just pushing myself to the point where you ask for help, I feel like good people are going to want to help you because they remember what it was like to start off once too. You know what I'm saying? And the real ones will step up and do what they need to do to help pay it forward. So don't be afraid, right? Everybody started off at one point and we all need help. So I would definitely say don't let anything like that hold you back from getting what you need.
It. I really do. Thank you both for your help. Like honestly, and
No problem, man.
I really mean that. Those words hit me. So I'm gonna take that with me. Bless.
Let's do it, man. You know what I mean? That's what we're here for, man. That's what Free Throws is about.
Good. Well, thanks for coming on. Like I said, you're welcome to stick around. If we're just gonna move on to the next person. So we have Fellas Love.
Yeah, it's my Instagram handle, Kels is Love.
You were first. I should have started with you first because you were on time. So I apologize for that.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's a blessing just to be on here. I appreciate it.
No doubt, man.
So my question is, I'm in the process of starting a clothing line. I just want to know what is the best route to take when beginning a clothing line. I always got issues. I mean, not issues, but I always got ideas, or I got plenty of things that I want to put on the clothing line or whatever that I want to do. I just want to know what's the best route, or like to find the best quality of clothing and like merch to use, because I just don't want to use nothing like cheap or anything like that. You know?
Well, I started a clothing line 10 years ago, and trust me, it's not. Of course, I'm not wearing it right now because it didn't keep going, but it's not an easy fill. But nothing that we want to do is easy. What I'll say is, first things first. Don't necessarily try to build it off the best quality because you'll really like run into a hole financially trying to do that. I remember I can't remember what book I read, but it said that starting off your brand specifically based on quality is like trying to build a house on sand. You know what I mean? Like no matter how much you build it, it's hard to build a foundation on sand. You know, with doing a clothing line, I think the most important part of doing it is all about brand identity. You know, you want to make sure that you can identify your brand within 1 to 3 words tops. That's why Nike is just do it. That's why McDonald's is I'm loving it. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to make sure that you keep it really short and simple, but depending on the direction you want to go, you know, I think you should just take the opportunity to start making some samples. You know, make some samples and rock them or pass them out. Are you familiar with Diamond Supply?
Yeah, definitely. One of my favorites is. Oh, go ahead.
So Diamond Supply was Nicky Diamonds was a person that I studied when I started my clothing line. And with Nicky Diamonds, the way he started it was all he had was the diamond logo. So what he did was because he was a skater, he just went to all the skate parks and with the diamond logo. And he gave 10 shirts to the kids out there. And then kids who skate, they travel. So it's they going from this park to the next park. And then they go into the next park yo, where you get that shirt from? And he's yo, it's this dude. He giving them out. And he started supplying them and more skaters started asking for it. And then he started selling it. So it's it's all about, the approach that you want to take. Another person you should look up and study is Johnny Cupcakes. Johnny Cupcakes is one of the people who I forgot what his is. I can't remember the name of his brand, but if you look up Johnny Cupcakes, he had a brand that was all about cupcakes. It was all streetwear, but he was kind of one of the people who coined that whole thing that Supreme does, where whenever they do a drop, they drop it in limited quantities and then it never comes out again. You know, so you want to make sure that if depending on what type of brand you're doing, if you're just trying to do mass sales, then you could just print up 100 of the same shirt. But if you're trying to keep it an exclusive boutique type thing, then you got to limit the exclusivity, and you got to make sure that your designs is just like crazy. You know what I mean? Like you got to make sure that your designs is some shit that nobody else is coming up with. And you got a lot to look at. You know what I mean? Like you could go on IG or you could go on Kith or any one of these boutique brands and see what your competition is. And not just your competition, but see the competitive level that they're on and say, all right, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
So I think the first thing is just doing a little bit of research, man. When I started my clothing line, I came up with the idea in 2010. I didn't sell a shirt until like summer or end of summer 2011 because I was just like so worried about getting all these different things together. I could have did it the year before, but just start doing samples. Like just start doing samples, rock them, put them on your IG, you rocking them, wear them out, see if what your friends think of them, you know?
Gotcha. Appreciate that for real, Wayno.
No
Thank
doubt,
you, King.
man. No doubt, man. I appreciate you
coming
coming
on.
on.
All right, guys, we're going to keep it going. So Curtis, are you ready to go?
Curtis, you all right, man? You got the ice grill on like no other right now, man. You was like.
You have me mugging us the whole time. It's all good, though.
We can't hear you. No, I can't. We can't hear you.
So I'm going to give you a second to figure that out, okay? I'm just going to go to the next person real quick, and then we'll come back to you, okay? All right. So Joey.
Joey, what's going on?
What's going on?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Everything good. I can't complain. How y'all doing?
Good, man.
We're
you know,
good. Blessed, black, and favored.
Word.
Yeah.
So my IG for everybody, my IG handle is Joey_Merritt, 2 R's, 2 T's. Y'all can follow me. And my question is, I'm planning on releasing a single, and I just want to know, first, it's a two-part question. First of all, what is a rollout, and what are the steps you're supposed to take when doing a rollout, or trying to put something together? So
the simplest way I could put it, a rollout is just preparation. A rollout is preparation. I mean, like, I don't know if you follow DJ Khaled on IG or not, but he been teasing for the past month with little owls and little things with owl, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just, and now it's like, oh wow, okay, you're doing a song with Drake. You know what I'm saying? But he's been teasing all these little things. I think that when you're dropping a single as an independent artist, I don't think it's so much needed as a rollout. I think it's just a digital push. But I think if you do have a foundation of some people that are listening, I think it is dope, if you do take some steps to create a rollout. When people think of rollouts, I just want us to all remember any product that we buy comes with some sort of rollout. I mean, sneakers, food, like whenever KFC make a new weird ass sandwiches, or what is that, Popeyes, when they made their sandwich, like they made all these different commercials and digital assets that went to them just selling a chicken sandwich, but they were selling it worldwide. So they had to communicate it digitally. I think like those the simplicity of the things that we have access to, like just watching commercials, can tell us so much about ourselves when we want to drop music or we want to drop shirts like Kelly's Love is doing, you know what I mean? Or if you want to do other things, like you got to just pay attention to what you're into and then take a step back and put your mind in the space of the consumer. Like, who was one of your favorite artists growing up, Joey?
Jada.
Okay, so Jada, the rollout for a Lox album for us, because we from the same era of Jada, was one of your favorites. The rollout for a Lox album for us was what? A freestyle on DJ Clue, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, or it might be, it's the single before the album. You know what I mean? Or
would you say, not to cut you off, King?
No, go ahead, bro.
Would you say like it'll be like, you know how like pre-orders or like something like that will fit into that?
Well, pre-orders is a little bit different because like pre-orders is a little bit tricky because pre-orders
like not a pre-order, but like like, you know how they go on like promo runs, they'll hit up all these different, they'll go to Breakfast Club,
Yeah,
they'll
right,
go
right,
to
right.
Hot 97,
But you
and they
don't see,
say,
but,
okay, my album is about.
right. So you being an up and coming artist, you being a, an independent up and coming artist, I think your space more is how can you utilize your socials in a unique way? And that can be like, that could be a little bit, damn, what can I do? But you gotta think, man. It's like, I used to manage, if anybody that knows, I used to manage Dave East, right?
Right.
And the first project we dropped when I was working with him was Black Rose. And when we did Black Rose, one of the things I did was, I'll give you two things that I did as a rollout for his projects. One of the things I did was, you know how when people leave like shit for babysitting, like, or like their dog is missing, like, yo, if you seen this dog, contact this number.
Yeah.
But and this was free. This was totally free. All I did was print. I put Dave's logo of his, or Dave's artwork on his on a piece of paper, and I put, there's a problem. I put in big bold letters, there's a problem, and at the bottom it said, if you haven't listened to Black Rose by Dave East. And on the little pieces that you could take was like the URL code for that piffs, where you could just go and access it and pull it up. And I don't even know how many downloads or plays we got from that, but I know mad people was like taking pictures of it, like, oh shit, like, look at this, who's this dude, you know what I mean? So another thing we did with rollouts was, when he had the record Keisha, it was a fictional song, but it was about like, it was Dave talking about a girl who robbed him.
Yeah, I remember that.
So what we did was, in the city, it was the girl that I picked to play the role of the girl I was robbing him in the video. I took a picture of her and I made a wanted sign out of it. And I took the wanted sign and I put the shit everywhere. Like I had people posting this shit and down in Soho, in Harlem, and Brooklyn, and the Bronx, to the point where this girl worked at the BBC at a Billionaire Boys Club store, and it was dudes coming in there like, yo, you the girl that everybody looking for. And then we dropped the video like that week, but we did a promo for like 4 days. So mad people was just taking pictures of it. So it was like, I mean, I made those ideas 4 years ago, but like that shit, that's just some of the things that go into a rollout.
Word, that's dope. So basically, it'll just be like building anticipation up.
Build anticipation and then drop.
Just different creative ways, you know what I mean? Just build anticipation up in a creative way before you release something.
And with that being said, it might not even come from you. You might need to have some of the homies around and just be like, yo, what you thinking? Like listen to the song. They might hear a line that you say in the song and be like, yo, this nigga said such and such, let's do this. Like, you know what I mean? And come up with your own, put your bread together. Like, these are the things that you got to do today in order to get going. So I hope that works for you, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the advice.
No problem, Joe, man. I appreciate you, man. Come back and let us know how things went.
Oh, I will. Definitely.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on. All right. We're going to keep it going. Is it Chenny? Oh, no, I'm sorry. My bad. I'm going to go back to Curtis because Curtis, we skipped over you.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't mean mugging. I was just paying attention,
It's all good. I was just joking with you anyway, man. I was joking with you, man. It's all good. Listening.
So as an up and coming A&R, I had a question. So when dealing with artists and trying to help them get placements, such as Sir Jules, like songwriting placements and such, do you think it's more effective for the artist to contact these label A&Rs and producers over an A&R that's up and coming like myself?
Not really, man. I'll be honest with you. A lot of A&R, I'm not going to say all of them, but there's a lot of A&Rs that just got the job. They just have a job. A lot of them don't do the work. You hit them up on a Saturday, they ain't answering. First and foremost, being an up-and-coming A&R, that's tough. So I would suggest, like, if you have an artist or a songwriter that you want to work with, the key is like trying to break something, because a lot of people who listen to music consider themselves A&R, but A&R, especially in today, you gotta cut through with something. You know what I mean? Like you gotta cut through with something. You gotta break an artist. You gotta place a record, place a beat, do something that's gonna make people talk, even if it's locally. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's locally. But I think it is good to get in contact with A&Rs at labels, but you gotta kind of tread how you do that, and it kind of goes back to what K Daisy was saying. You know, how do you know if you're being finessed or not? You know, I know there's people who charge people to just have a meeting, like charge it, yo, 500 and you could come have a meeting. I would never do nothing like that to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because you shouldn't have to pay any money for you to make a genuine connection. So I would say, like, you know, if you're gonna do A&R and you want to like get your artists going, or songwriters, or even producers, sometimes it's not always getting to the artist or the A&R. You might got to get at some of their homies. I mean, you might gotta get at some of their homies, and because a lot of the homies that's around, they trying to figure it out too.
Yeah, I tried it and it worked before, and I just noticed a pattern because I usually get through, but it usually like I present the artist to them, and then it's like you're cut off, and then they just dealing with the artist specifically. So
Yeah,
I was wondering.
You gotta once you get a connection. It's good to have the power is having the relationships with the artist and whoever's the CEO. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a relationship with no artist, no real relationship with no artist that's on QC, but I got a relationship with P. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if it's something that I would potentially want to do with QC, I gotta run it by the boss man. You know what I mean? But that's where my power lies. So it's like, I think that you just gotta, you know, building relationships is a skill. You know what I mean? And sometimes those skills it can slip. Like, you know what I mean? Like you said, you did it and shit be going kind of cool, and then it gets lost in translation. But don't get discouraged by that. You know what I'm saying? Like, the thing about what it is that you're doing, or what it is that you're trying to do is really a marathon. It's not something that's going to happen tomorrow. It's not something that even might happen in 2 or 5 years. It might happen 10 years from now. But that might be your time. But it might happen in 2 years. The thing is that you can't give up, and you just got to stay persistent. And there's a thin line between persistence and annoyance. You know what I mean? Some people they don't know the difference between the two. Some people just think somebody's being annoying when they're being persistent. Like I said to the brother, Sir Jules, it's all about the communication, how you communicate what you're trying to do.
I appreciate it. Appreciate you having me.
No doubt, Curtis, man. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks, Curtis.
All right.
All right, is it Chenny?
Chini.
Chini, what's up, Chini?
How you doing? My IG handle tag is Fettuccini, FETACHENI _. And my question for you is, as like an artist that already got like a genre, because you know I mostly, you know, I just rap or whatever. But like trying to find a hit, how do you like stay within your genre and like, you know, try to get new fans going into these other genres? So it's like, that's what I'd be battling with, like staying 100% true to myself, and at the same time trying to like, you know, switch it up sometime to like maybe catch a new eye and stuff like that. So that's my question.
I think the thing about hits or creating hits is like, we really pretty much don't determine them. You know, like the creators don't really determine if it's a hit. The people do. I think trying to make a hit, or what you think is a hit, is where you kind of get lost in translation. For the most part, you gotta just like, with the way music is, especially today, like it was a point in time where like, in order to make a hit record, you had to rap the hardest shit you could come up with. You know what I mean? Or sing the best thing you could come up with. And I'm not saying to minimize the craft or to not do that. What I'm saying is that now you're in a place where everybody experiences all types of emotions and feelings and things because of the internet. You know, because of what's going on, people in all over the world can see what's going on in America and vice versa. I think when it comes to genre bending, you gotta if that's the lane you want to go, start studying the Billboard Hot 100. You know what I mean? Like, from time to time, I go on because I do A&R, I go on the Billboard Hot 100, and I'll just look at songs and it'd be shit that I never heard of in my life, and I just pull it up on YouTube and listen to it. And I'll listen to the beat, I'll listen to the lyrics, I'll listen to the bridges, the chorus, the the intro, and that'll kind of say that won't make me say, oh, I need to make a song like this, but it lets me know what people are gravitating to. And there's a lot of things that goes in the hits. We talking about like big machines being behind them and all of that. But if you just a artist, a songwriter, and creative that's making stuff that you want to be heard and you want people to take you seriously, you should start studying that if that's the route you want to go. I mean, you could go back to our free throws, Kenya. What was it? The one with Sean Garrett, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Sean Garrett, he said something that resonated with me and Kenya so heavily. He said, inspect what you expect. Inspect what you expect. And what I took from that is what you're expecting of what it is you do, you got to inspect all the intricacies as to how it actually moves. So creating is one thing. You know what I mean? Creating is one thing. But another is like really learning the business and how those gears work. Ken, you got something to add?
No, I mean, I think that was very well said. And I would just say, like, just like Wayno, like just understanding how things move and doing your research and having access to information is really what I think sets you apart from anybody else, right? And anything you're trying to do. So just to make sure you're tapping into everything that's going on around you and how stuff is moving, I think is key to really kind of setting yourself apart and raising the bar for yourself individually.
Yeah, cause like I don't study the charts like heavily, but I look at it time to time. You see Roddy, you see, all these different artists going to the top. So like with like learning the business, I had picked up this book or whatever. I was trying to read, because I know you be saying it's nobody's business to teach you business. So
right.
I took the time out to start reading about it. But it's a lot that you got to learn with the music business. So I'm like slowly learning and learning and learning. So that's why, I'm like going back and forth with it. Like my first project, I was mostly rapping. The second project that I'm working on now is more like in the love lane. So it's just sort of see which one my fans is gravitating more towards. So
yeah, man, and trust the people who engage. You know what I mean? Like I don't want you to look at the comments because the comments can be unforgiving sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But and I said that, Kenya, I said it before, right? Like to do a group chat with some of your like hardest supporters.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Almost like a social experiment with your
right,
with your
right,
work. Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, listen, man, I like keeping it transparent with y'all. My brand is inspiration. You know what I mean? Me and Kenya's brand is support and inspiration. What we try to do is inspire, those that want to come up, and y'all help us with these types of things. So it's like that's why I'm able to spend this hour learning. Like all of you guys are from different places. We've had people on here from Africa, from the UK. Where else we have people on here from, Kenya?
Oh my God, everywhere, like
all types of people.
Canada, anywhere.
From
yeah,
Canada,
we've had a lot of people.
All types of places. So it's like, pay attention. Like right now, every time we do this, me and Kenya have a call after we do free throws, and we just discuss, how we engage with y'all, how we gonna keep building, and that's because we pay attention to our consumers, and that's what we want to do. We genuinely doing something to create a community of people who can thrive and help build each other. So it's like you can do that with your music. If you're going the love route, and your love is about happiness, but it's also about sadness and despair. So if you bringing people together through that, I'm pretty sure you could create a group chat where you can like just ask questions and feed off of that and kind of build something that hasn't been done.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem, man. No problem.
All right. So thanks for coming on. We appreciate you showing up. And who else do we have in the bottom? Is it Crisis?
Yeah, Crisis is next.
Yes. So you ready to go?
Yes.
My man Crisis look like he about to. Oh, wait, hold up. That's my man from Ohio.
What's the deal?
Oh, what's going on?
Man,
listen, Crisis had me me and my man Mouse Jones come out to Akron, Ohio, and speak. You know what I mean? Kind of what we doing right now. He had us come do that. What's up, Christ? It's good to see you, bro.
Man. Hey, man, good to see you as well, brother. See you maintaining and growing your hair out.
Yeah. Yes, I am. I got a little frog up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
I'm on audio, man. Am I good? I'm good over
here.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it short and simple. Being as though that we in this quarantine situation and everything is like in a space where we kind of locked down. My question is, how do you like continue to keep your brand fresh and adapt to the new times in the industry while also maintaining the authenticity of your brand? Because you put yourself in a bubble when it ain't too much to do. So like, how do you kind of stay true to your brand, but still be yourself at the end, like, but still put it out there for like the newer crowd or like a crowd of people who is forced to, in a sense, to be to listen to you or watch your videos or whatever the case may be that we do?
I think you said like a lot of key words to my answer. Adaptation. Like I don't think me being a creative or like a a manager, a A&R, I'd survive this long if I didn't understand that, as time goes on, things evolve. As far as like keeping the authenticity when it comes to the brand, may that be the brand of Triangle Offense or the brand of me, the brand I represent, when I'm on Everyday Struggle, it's actually me. You know what I mean? Like people who meet me, they know that I'm not faking. And what I'm also not one of them self-proclaimed real niggas. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not the person that's gonna be like, yo, I'm real, I'm this, I'm that. I let my actions speak for themselves. And I think like I was saying before, my brand is about inspiration. Like, I come to find out like a couple years ago that the best way I was able to like make money and accomplish my goals and do the things that I really wanted to do was by inspiring the artists that I worked with. So I said to myself, yo, if I can take this inspiration, and now I took that thought and said, okay, artists are just one piece of the puzzle. Now, there's all types of people that are in this world, and if I can tell them my story and they can symptomize with, me, when I say like I dropped out of high school, I don't say that like, oh, I dropped out of high school and became successful. I say that because it might be a person that didn't drop out of high school and went to college and might be a little bit discouraged. And when I say I dropped out of high school, I just want to let them know that they made it a little bit further than me, so that if they view me a certain way, they can get even further. Like I don't hold myself to this certain type of shell or ceiling that I feel nobody can get past. I feel like success is a feeling, and everybody is worthy of that feeling. Everybody's deserving of that feeling if they work hard enough for it. And that's how I keep, my brand authenticity intact, because I know that as long as my heart and my mind is pure, then my intentions is always in the right place. You know what I mean? Okay. Like no matter what, like nobody could question that. So, I think, kind of what I got from your question was about like sticking to your guns a bit. You know I mean, like kind of like sticking to your guns. And sometimes, when we do stick to our guns, we might not get the results that we want. That's the difficult part. We might not get the results that we want. But I think that sticking to your guns and tying adaptation into it is the way to evolve.
Gotcha.
Like, yeah, like that's pretty much the way to evolve. You know what I mean? But I think that like the whole thing about brand authenticity and staying on a certain type of path all has to deal with your mission. Everybody's shooting at different baskets. So it's like, for even people on your team, like, what I mean? Somebody on your team you might have a dream, and your dream might not be their dream, but they just here for the moment. So if that's what it is, just make sure that you give, like we all give what we got, so that we can meet our common goal, and you could go your way and I could go mine, and keep evolving, and we could always help each other. I think that's the way that business always stays like moving, no matter what.
That's what's up. Can I ask one more question, like quick though?
I'm gonna give Christ some favoritism, only because, you know what I mean? this man flew me out and did a couple things for me. So
No,
go
and
ahead,
it's
brother.
and I think this will pertain to everybody in the chat as well.
Okay.
Like how do you manage to stay creative during this whole process? Because you know we all are limited with what's going on. We don't know if we might be back into phase 1 with this whole COVID situation. So like, how do you manage to stay creative? Like I see you do the free throws, and you managing to do your everyday struggle situations. But like as I see artists are on here, I see designers are on here. How do we manage to stay creative? What are some key components that we can put to our brand to manage to keep us creative?
I think, so man, I ain't gonna lie. I draw my creativity from a lot of places, man. Sometimes my creativity comes from happiness. Sometimes it comes from sadness. Like I ain't gonna lie. Like over the past week, I've been having some real eye-opening, I wouldn't say issues, but I've been having like some real eye-opening situations when it comes to like, you know, things that has been going on in the city. You know, one of my artists, two of his best friends, you know, passed away. They got murdered. And not necessarily saying that like I use that as fuel. I'm just saying it's like, you know, I look at some days, bro, I ain't gonna lie. It takes me to just go outside and walk around my community and just like sit by the water and just think a bit. I think, you know, that term stop and smell the roses is so underrated because most of the times when you hear it, nobody ever does it. You know, it's just like a thing. Like you just hear somebody say, yo, you need to just stop and smell the roses. Sometimes you literally need to go out and just experience life. And that might just be getting on a bike and riding around. You know, for me, I've been staying creative by like my aspirations for me and my team to just do more things. I called Kenya I always call Kenya with some other shit. We trying to do this, and then I got something else I'm trying to do. So the other day I called her like, yo, I just put you on this email. We gonna do bop, 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 bop. And if I know her the way I do, she wrote everything down. You know what I mean? And that's just because, you know, for the people I work with, I don't only want the best for myself. I want the best for others. You know what I mean? And even I want the best for the people who indulge in free throws. Like I really, bro, like this is really my thing. I'm not saying that to be cliche. Like I don't get high. This is my high. Like we've had people come back on free throws at least 2 or 3 times and say, yo, like it was a kid from the UK. He was like, yo, Wayno, man, like I tried some of the stuff that you said and it's been working. Another kid from New Orleans, he came back on and was like, yo, you told me to start putting my money towards ad campaigns, and I put a couple dollars towards that, and my followers been growing, my streams have been growing. That's where I grew up. Like, bro, I'm on some Gary V shit. You know what I mean? We don't got that but we don't have, like, I'm not gonna say we don't have that person because it might be people out there, but like I come from the hood, I've worked in corporate, I've been in the street. I'm just trying to figure out how I could be an example for everybody to figure out they shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's that's how I stay creative.
Got you.
I'm just gonna add, and this community is a way to stay creative, right? So, I mean, one of the things that I felt like has always been a great way to be successful is getting yourself around people who are like-minded, right? And constantly, you know, keeping around that kind of energy. Because when you're around creative energy and you have people to bounce ideas off of and network with, that's gonna kind of keep you inspired and keep you going. There's no reason why, you know, people should be having to go through this alone, right? Which is one of the reasons why, you know, we wanted to do this community and build it, because we don't want people to feel alone. We want you to have a creative space. We want you to have an atmosphere where you can share ideas and network and connect with one another. So this is an answer, right? This is the whole purpose of free throws, is to really kind of keep that creativity flowing so that everybody has an opportunity to thrive, especially during times like this when it can feel, you know what I'm saying, a little cumbersome kind of going at it by yourself.
Got you. Thank you guys. That was very helpful.
No problem, man. Thank you, Crisis, man. I appreciate you, man. Tap back in with me, man.
Oh yeah, most def.
All right.
Thanks for coming on. We have one more person, I think. Is it QB the Wizard?
Hello?
Yo.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. How y'all doing? So
good. How are you?
I'm a producer. I was on here.
Yeah, that's the young brother from Jersey.
Yeah, from North, yeah.
Right.
So my question is, hold on, let me make sure y'all can hear me. Y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah.
We can hear you.
All right. So my question is, what is your take on, because some people make a stigma like type beat producers, like YouTube producers versus producers that just get placements. What's your take on that? And do you think that's a real thing, or that's just barriers they place on producers?
I mean, who cares? Like my take on it is like, who cares? Because it's like a lot of producers that get played, like just because you haven't had like a placement on an album doesn't mean that you're not a producer. A lot of the producers that like Cash Money AP, he's worked with everybody from Pop Smoke to NBA Youngboy to fucking everybody. He sells beats on YouTube still. You know,
Yeah.
I think you can't get wrapped up in what people say. You know what I mean? Like you really can't get wrapped up in what people say. For the most part, I think how you should look at it is if people consider you a YouTube producer, maybe you should create some content out of that and show people the work you actually put in the studio to make your beats. Because a lot of people, you know, the whole thing with YouTube producer, it kind of falls under a certain stigma that like you're not really putting in work on them keys. Like you ain't really staying up late at night doing 30 beats or going back to the beat you did a week ago and fixing it and doing all that. So maybe you need to create some content out of that and take advantage of people saying shit like that.
Right. Because I just got into the YouTube thing, like, and I've been posting every day. That's something I just started getting into, just so I can just make some extra income, get like some passive income coming. So, but yeah, thanks. I just wanted your opinion on that.
Yeah. Well, man, yeah, I think like take it like you can do that. You can do YouTube and I think what would be dope is, man, have like you and maybe another one of your peers, like another producer on, have a discussion about it and then show the work that y'all put in. Share it on your social shit. Like you got to show people, you know, a lot of people think they can do what LeBron does, right? Like as crazy as that sounds, there's people that play on a part that say, yo, man, I could do that same shit. They ain't doing the workouts that LeBron doing. They ain't eating how he eating. You know what I mean? They ain't disciplining themselves like that. And you get to see that through the behind the scenes content. So like start building your behind the scenes content. And that could be another, you know, that could be more YouTube content that you produce that can grow you some revenue.
That's YouTube is definitely another check. I don't think people realize. I think that we talked about it on the last episode. All you need is 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours or 4,000 minutes of watch content before YouTube will start cutting you a check for what's there, what you're putting up. So that's not really a lot when you look at it in hindsight. So now is the time.
Keep working. Just keep working, man.
Yeah.
But again, man, you know, we wound it down. I want to just thank each and every one of y'all for coming on the free throws, man, spending this hour with me and Kenya. You know, like I said, man, we're building our platforms and, you know, we're growing. And all we ask of us, our community that we're building, is that you just tell another person and send them our way for next week. You know, we really, you know, take time to curate this weekly. So, you know, the more people you send through, it helps us, truthfully. The same way that y'all are looking for answers, man, we trying to figure ours out, you know, through this. So please just send people through and spread the word.
All right, y'all. Well, listen, this was great. We appreciate you coming on. You know, we welcome you back to share your success stories. We love that. And we're here to support you each and every week. A new episode drops every single Friday. It's the Free Throws with Wayno. I'm Coach Kenya, and we're out of here.
Peace, y'all.